Give praise, esteem, and honor, huh? We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. John 5:39. Shalom, brother GP. I flow wet, boy. I flow wet, boy. I flow wet.
Good. Hey, you hit that light over there in the other room across the way?
Man, said it good for him to walk out there with them shoes on.
Yes. Huh?
Ariel, close your leg. Got your business in the street. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuse you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Let's take ourselves to John 4 again. No, don't you go in there. Ain't got no business in there. Ain't nothing in there for you. Ain't nothing in there for you. John 4:22. You worship ye know not what. We know what we worship. For salvation is of the Yahudim. But the hour come, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship Abba in Ruach and in truth. For Abba seek to worship him. Alahym is a Ruach. And they that worship him must worship him in Ruach and in truth. So, that's what we're going to focus on a little bit, is those who work and serve the living Alahym. That's what we're going to look at a little bit. So, let's look at the work and service of Yahusha, and also following that to see how he also was a man after Yah's own heart. And let's look at some of his service. I ain't said nowhere yet. Let's look at Luke chapter 12. (12 and 13) is sufficient. Now, on this one here, we dealing with a matter of sit back looking at judgment, but then he's also telling you how to serve and manifest your works, to do the work of the Most High. So we're going to go from Luke 12 after that. We're going to do Luke 12, and then we're going to go to Psalms 49, and then to 1 Timothy chapter 6. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me. And he saith unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? He said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not in the things which he possessed. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And what he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? That nigga went to Popeye for real, because I have no room. It's not enough to cover 3 people. You ain't bringing enough biscuits for everybody?
Well, we don't.
But you want one.
We're supposed to buy a dozen biscuits.
I sure gonna eat it too.
I'll save it for you, brother.
You my nigga. If you don't get no bigger.
Don't be no meat in here. How you know that?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you. Any spot you go that cook Southern type food, you better ask if they put swine in it. Because 99.9% of the time they do. Especially with green beans, pork beans, and red beans and rice. 9 times out of 10, they're pork in that.
So why do you never meat and red bean rice? Always cooking with it and never eating.
Because they cook it in pork fat.
They usually
That's so
cook it.
weird.
They usually cook it with a ham. Red beans and rice is usually cooked with a ham hock. It's just that with theirs,
Hammy.
it's not in there.
It's like Skittles. Why you put gelatin in Skittles?
That's not pork, though. Bro, you can call them people to ask them what type of gelatin that is.
Somebody told me about it.
But there's no gelatin in Skittles anymore. They been stopped putting gelatin in Skittles years ago.
Ain't no meat no in the Cajun rice is meat. Ain't no meat in them.
She said they cook it with pork.
No, the Cajun rice.
Yeah, the Cajun rice. Not
There's no meat in that. I used to work there, I know.
Okay, so there's no meat in red beans and rice.
Yes, there is. I mean, it's
Oh, so
cooked
it's-
with a
it's-
ham
it's
hock.
meat in
It's just the
Cajun.
ham hock is still whole. They take it out and then they serve it. You cook the beans in a ham hock.
Swine, sublime, and divine.
The Cajun rice got the meat in it. The red beans and rice come no meat in it. The red beans and rice come.
No, what he's saying is it's cooked in pork. They cook it in pork. Shayla says she knows this because she asked.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I know when I went there, they put that junk out of the bag and put
Well, now you know it. No one's
Yeah,
have to
now you
battle.
know.
But hey, we can't spend all this time talking about that. It's been established. It's been established. That it is.
Let it go.
And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. He thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? He said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But Alahym said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that lay up treasure for himself and is not rich towards Alahym. So again, you could come over here to Psalm 49. See, one of the biggest problems, and see, this is what we were kind of discussing beforehand, that niggas more be concerned about being rich for yourself. You ain't rich towards y'all, and that man will take you out.
What chapter Luke though?
12.
Well, I just didn't know which first.
He'll take you out. You know what I'm saying? And when you laying up treasure for yourself, so when you lays up riches towards yourself versus Yah, it's really that you have become your own God and that your will is more important. And you have to check that and watch that. That's why I keep telling you. When you see a man like David, who was a man after Yah's own heart, he was not concerned about anything with himself. He was concerned about Yah and his will. See, y'all, bigger problem is, and I've been told y'all this numerous times before, y'all think that it's about your life and what you want to do. And it's not. And it's not. This is why I done told y'all recently, even though I've always told you this here, you bet to have Yah will come out your mouth on whatever it is you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You bet that's what you better do. You better have Yah's will coming out your mouth. You can say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. Yah willing, because that might not be his will for you to do that. Why do you think he say that in that prayer? Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Y'all walk around here like it's my will be done. That's the wrong mindset to have. Even when David stepped to him, what did David ask Yah that told Yah he something he wanted to do that Yah told him he couldn't do? Build a temple, because that was David desired to do. That was his will to do it. Did you see him getting upset because Yah said that's not my will for you to do that? You know how many people would have probably got upset? What you mean I can't build you a house?
They were trying to establish their own house in the name of Yah.
And build his own house in the name of Yah. Pulled us all. I forced myself to do it. You have to look at that. If you find yourself forcing yourself to do something you know you ain't got no business, or you know y'all ain't stamped, just go ahead and lay down and go to sleep. Try it over again the next day. Just start over tomorrow, because you messing up. Psalm 49. Verse 4. He said, I will incline my ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the heart. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heel shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give a ransom for him. Pause. Come back to Luke chapter 12. See, you can't, he say, look, what you think he mean when he talking about you trusting in your riches? See, it's a lot of people, they trust in their money. They think their money going to be the thing that's going to get them through. Hello, Martha. Stay in the spot, but it was escaping my mind. Hello, Tabin. Come on, Tabin. Well, there you go. You made it regardless. 12 and 45.
Sit down, Mark. Sit your butt down.
Oh, I'm in 11. That's the problem. I'm in the wrong place. That was the problem.
Yeah, I got a little juice.
Let me make sure what I'm thinking about over here. Hey, Lizzie. Lizzie, you gonna hit the cord, Lizzie. You gonna hit the cord, Lizzie. It might have been in chapter 11. Matter of fact, don't worry about that. Come to Matthew 19 real quick. I'm thinking about a spot where it said the Pharisees derided them because he knew they was covetous, but it's escaping me where it said at the moment. Huh? 19. And 27. Well, not 27, but 16. I said we're gonna be real quick.
You said Matt 27, no Luke?
I said Matthew 19 and 16.
19.
Hello, Leah. Tabit. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? He said unto me, Why call thou me good? There's none good but one, that is Alahym. But if thou wert enter into life, keep the commandments. He saith unto him, which Yahushua said, Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And the young man saith unto him, All these things I have kept from my youth up, what lack I yet? Yahushua said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in Shamahim, and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, Truly I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of Shamahim. Now, let's not sit back and just look at just being rich. And let's just look back that an individual is not willing to separate themselves from the things that they trust that are greater than Yah. See, a lot of people have a problem with trusting in things outside of Yah and then think that they're going to get a good result in the end. Now, he's just focusing on riches. But how easy is it going to be for you to enter into a kingdom and you trust in things other than Yah? Because remember, he said he's looking for people to worship him in Ruach and in truth. And the worship is to do the work and the labor, or the abad. And this man was not willing to do the work or the labor. Remember, that's the ayin, the bad, and the dalit. So this man does not want to know or experience the son's entrance into the door or entrance into the house. He doesn't want to know that, because that's what the work is going to get. He didn't want to do the work. Now, everybody been told if you're not going to do the work in a particular avenue, then you're not going to get the success that you desire. So if you're not willing to perform the labors or the work or the service of Alahym, of which he's seeking people who are going to do this work and they're going to do it in Ruach and in truth, then you're going to have a problem. If you're not willing to do the work in a foundation of the faith and in the spirit of Yahuwah and not your carnal mind, then you're not going to make it in the house. Yah's not looking for you. Remember, and the reason why I mentioned this, right? He said he seeks such to worship him, correct? That's what it said. Now, it said that he sought a man after his own heart. So that means, pause, Second Chronicles 16 and 9. It could be 30 and 9. Let me see. We still gonna go to 1 Timothy chapter 6.
What you said about was? You had did it earlier this week, right?
Alahym, Bot, and Dollar.
No, I know that. What's that?
Work.
No. You said. What you said it meant?
I just said it.
I know. I ain't.
Oh.
Right, so no.
Oh, shoot. To know and experience the work
To get you
of the Son, the end of the door. The entrance in the door, or for lack of a better term, entrance into the tabernacle, entrance into the house. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we about to conclude tabernacles, and this is about entering into his storehouse, entering into his house, gathered into his house. In order to be gathered into his house, you got to be doing the work. Look at this 2 Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 9. For the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. So if his eyes are going to and fro throughout the earth to show him, that means he's seeking people who worship him. That means he's looking for these type of individuals. See, this is where they go into. Many are called, few are chosen. You could be called, but he may have not been looking for you. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to show you another example of them looking for him. Same way he was looking for them. John chapter 1. And this goes back to seeking Yah. Because guess what? If you're looking for him, he might be looking for you. Hello, Tabby. Yeah, 1 and about 40. Hello, Tabby. Hey, Tabby. Hey, Tabby. You a baby?
Now you have.
1 and 43, actually. Well, we could look at 1 and 35 and move away around. Again, the next day after John stood and 2 of his disciples and looking upon Yahushua, as he walked, he saith, Behold, the Lamb of Alahym. 2 of his disciples heard him speak, and they followed Yahushua. Yahushua turned and saw them following and saith unto them, What seek ye? You heard it said. They seen the man. They went to seeking him. He asked them the question, What you looking for? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to be said, being interpreted, Master, where dwell thou? He saith unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. Now, I want y'all to think about that in the instance, right? He asked them a question. What are y'all seeking? What did they ask him? What did they ask him when he asked them what they were seeking? What did he say? Huh? No, I'm talking about what his disciples asked him. When he said, What seek ye? What did his disciples respond back with? That's not what they responded. Where you live at. Where you live at. He told them, Come and see. So the difference is what I want you to get at, and we're going to sit back and pull and understand from this here, right? They were looking for him, weren't they? And they found him. And when they found him, they said, Well, where you going? He told them, Where you live at, he said, Come and see. Now I want you to sit back and look at what that could mean. Acts chapter 1. I don't want Acts chapter 1. Come on back to Colossians chapter 3. We read it the other night. I want to focus in. Matter of fact, make it Hebrews 1 and 1. I don't want to focus back in on that. Where does Hamashiach dwell right now? So if you coming to seek after him and you was to ask him, Where dwellest thou? And he say, Come and see. Guess what? You're going to have to take your mind and heart to. You're going to have to take your mind and heart to above. And if you take your mind and heart to above, that means you're going to be doing what? Thy will in earth as it is in heaven, right? That means you're going to be doing his work. You're going to worship him. You're going to do his work. You can't do his work and do your work. How many of y'all be on your job trying to do your work and then try to do the stuff you want to do while you're on the clock? You can't do it. Something suffers. No, you know people, you got people who work regular jobs and they got stuff they working on and they work on it while they at work. Well, guess what? Something's going to suffer. And it's usually going to be the people who you working for. You know what I'm saying? Remember what he told you. You can't serve two masters because you're going to love one and cleave to the other. You're going to hate one. I mean, say you're going to cleave to one and walk away from the other. You're going to love one and hate the other because you can't do both. You have to pick. What did he tell him in the Kings? This day, pick whom you shall serve. Pick who you going to work after. If Yah be Alahym, serve him, worship him. If Baal be Alahym, worship him. Because you can't do the works of both. See, you can't serve your flesh and serve the spirit because they diametrically opposed to one another. You got to pick one. Because you can't do both. Alahym, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, having these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his esteem and express image of his person, upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of majesty on high. So you can come back to John chapter 1. When the Mashiach states, and that nigga falling just made me lose my whole train of thought. Let me think of what I'm finna say. In Matthew chapter 3, he told you when he knocked and you open, what would he do? And he would sit down and he would sup with you and he would serve you. Then he said, he that overcometh, he said, I cause him to sit down at my throne, as I'm sat down at my Father's throne. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that and you say you seeking him, your question that you should be asking when you seeking him is where you dwell. Because I'm trying to see where you dwell, so I can dwell where you dwell. He said, in my Father's house there's many mansions. If it was not so, I wouldn't have told you. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. So where I dwell, you dwell because you sought after me. See, we talked about this earlier on the first go-round. But if you want to know Yah, you got to seek after him. It's no different. You wasn't here. Do you feel like it's somebody that understands your mind and how you think? Do you feel like anyone has ever sought after to understand your mind and how you think? Now, we use that analogy as that we don't know how Yah thinks and how he operates. So we have to actually, if you want to know somebody, okay, I just use myself as an example. You described me as being like a boulder, right? But in reality, it's not necessarily that that's the case. It's that individuals don't seek to know and understand me at all. So if they actually sought to know and understand me, they might have been shocked at how much information they might have received. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the type of individual who's just going to tell you all of that unless you do the same with me, then I'm a reciprocator. You know what I'm saying? But if you seek that out, and I see that you consistently seeking that out, why would I withhold that from you? In my mind, how my mind works, I'm going to think that you actually care and you want to know that. So therefore, I will give you whatever you're asking for and I'm not going to hold nothing back. For what? But if you don't seek after it, I may not readily give you that. Well, guess how y'all work? If you seek after that, guess what he going to do? He'll readily give you that. But if you're waiting for him to tell you that, if you're waiting for him to give you that, then he's not going to give it. To a certain extent, because that's once you get it, then it's a standard you held to then. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's like that if I've given myself over, like when you get married, and when you get married, you're supposed to be able to unconditionally give yourself over to another person. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about as far as love is concerned. Like you give yourself to another person. Like the book says that a man, if he got a virtuous woman, that his heart is supposed to rest safely with her. That he's supposed to be able to trust this woman with his mind. Because you know the same book of Proverbs tell you don't give your strength over to a woman because that ain't for no king. But then it come right back around and say to give it to a virtuous woman. So you see there's a difference. You can't give that to any woman. Because a woman, you give that type of strength over to any woman and the wrong woman will destroy you. Do you know what I'm saying? It ain't no different than if it's a woman with a man. Women are more inclined to give themselves over unconditionally to a man in that fashion than a man is. You know what I'm saying? This is why in a lot of instances women be more emotionally hurt in those situations because they gave themselves over and that man did not. See, we were talking about that situation last week. See, there's a difference between love and lust because lust will never sacrifice. It'll give an image like it's sacrifice, but it'll never sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? It'll never do it. It'll give a little concessions as if it was a sacrifice, but they really didn't give anything up.
Sit down, Mark.
They didn't really lose anything. They just made it just enough to where you felt like they were giving in to what you needed or what you wanted. And that's not love, that's lust. Love will give yourself completely over. It'll sacrifice completely with no hesitation or thought. Because we see that's what Hamashiach did. He sacrificed himself. He didn't think about it. He gave himself for his wife. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? So if you a man and you say you love your woman, you're supposed to sacrifice for her, and vice versa. Because that's what real love is. You will sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? In the most part, in general society, the woman feel like she do more sacrificing than the man do. And because they don't have that conversation, resentment start coming in. Because truth be told, most of them might be sacrificing, and both parties are not looking at each other sacrificing in equal fashion. Feeling like my sacrifice is greater. He feeling like my sacrifice is greater. You know what I'm saying? When really, y'all sacrificing because you decide. Once you decide that you want to make a family and have children, you've already made a decision to sacrifice for one for another. You've already made that decision. The minute you said, let's get married, you made a decision that I'm going to sacrifice my life for another person. And for people who haven't even arrived yet, being children. You know what I'm saying? So, and because we mentioned this earlier, that's why I mentioned because you wasn't here. If you feel like a nigga don't understand, like, okay, you just say you feel like, and you married, you feel like your spouse don't understand your mind, that means it's on your spouse to seek that out, to seek to understand you. You shouldn't live together. You shouldn't live with somebody every day and you don't understand how they think. And you don't understand their mind and you're not seeking and searching that out. Because at that point, that tells the other person that you really don't care. That you don't even care enough to find out. You don't even care enough to inquire and ask. And I'm going to look at it on the spiritual side that if you won't even inquire and ask about the understanding of your spouse, I know you ain't inquiring to ask him to understand y'all. Because you live with them every day. You see them. Got to look at it the same way. Seek after y'all with your whole... Inquire of him. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. Shoot, you don't know. You didn't ask me certain stuff. You probably saw. I didn't even think that nigga told me that. Because you asked. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is ask. You'll be surprised. Yeah, because you asked. Nigga don't ask, I ain't going to tell you. That wasn't no different when I told you that girl I got arrested with. She ain't know my name. Why she ain't know my name? She never asked. If she would have asked, I would have told her. You know what I'm saying? I guess in my mind, I guess for her, it wasn't important enough to know my government name. So if we want to know how Yah is, how to serve him, what to do, you got to seek after him. And he will show it to you. Matter of fact, pause. Before we read John 1. Go to James 1. Yeah. I didn't want to show he was on high and then take that with that throne and you sit.
See, I was looking to see what you were doing.
Would it be a true statement like, God don't answer through prayer, but he provides you with the information?
I mean, he can definitely direct you to the information. It depends on what you're praying for. And that's the way it get a little different because I don't know what everybody in here pray for. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, I wouldn't ask you what you pray for. If you chose to divulge that, that's your choice. But I'm not going to ask nobody what they pray
But
for.
I remember us talking about this too when you were doing the lesson on being reprobate. You were saying that he'll answer your prayers to give you over to your lust if you praying for something that he know gonna be for your demise.
That's if you're disobedient and unbelieving.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily that you praying for it. He just going to give you over to your desires.
No, because you remember you was like, sometimes he don't answer your prayers because you know that the things that you asking for.
Oh, no, that's different. What that was is that's James 4. He said you ask not because you ask amiss,
Right.
because you ask to... See, that's different than reprobate. That meaning you asking me for something, but you asking me for this to consume it on your desires, and I'm not going to give it to you.
Right, but somebody who he giving over, when they ask for it like that, he give it to them because he trying to
Oh,
get them
but
over.
my point is, they ain't necessarily even got to ask.
Yeah, you're right. He gonna give you over regardless.
Regardless. Now, the example of asking is when he gave them quails so he could turn around and kill them.
Yeah.
Because they asked for them quails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want flesh to eat.
Yeah.
We tired of this light bread.
And he gave it to him and still offered them both to him.
And off them all, because that was his intent. I'm going to give you over to your desire, and I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to show you what happens when you lust.
Yeah.
This what happens when, and they asked amiss. Because you asked for me, you asked something of me to consume it on your lust. See, and that's my whole point. He said, there's no searching of his understanding. He said, they have not known me. They don't harden your hearts in a day of provocation. They haven't known my way. How you sit back and think about that, right? We read that the other night, right?
Go put it in your room.
And that's Psalms 95. And you can see it in Hebrews 3. They with this man in the wilderness for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and still didn't know him. So that means if you didn't know him, that either mean one, you wasn't paying attention, two, you just outright didn't believe, or three, you didn't care. Because it's not like they had to ask and seek of him. He sought them out and revealed himself to them and told them about him. And they still didn't know him. Remember what Yahushua said to Philip? He said, Philip, you've been with me all this time and you still haven't known me? You've been walking with me all this time and you don't know me? He said, Philip, what you been doing? What you been doing? You ain't been paying attention? And see, I'm the type of, because that's just how I am. Because Hamashiach pretty much did the same thing. Some people show the people they care about and the people they love by telling them that constantly. Well, I'm usually just going to show you that by my actions. Or some people want you to express that verbally. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily, it takes a whole lot, because I just told Shay this the other day. If it's something that I want to say as far as expressing my feelings to somebody, I usually start rambling. And if I start rambling about something incoherently, nothing, that means I have not figured out the words to use to say what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't need your shoes.
Because for me, it's not that I have the inability to say it. It's how I feel like it should be said and how it should be worded. You know what I'm saying?
You don't need them.
And I can't find the words to say what it is that I actually want to say. So then I start damming off in something that means absolutely nothing. And the only way that somebody would notice, like if you had to know a nigga really, really well, like, nigga, what you trying to tell me? Because I know you ain't talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I always been like that because that's how my mind works. I feel like it's got to be said a particular type of way. A particular type of words have to be used. Some people be like, boo, 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 and there's absolutely nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Mine's a little different. I think that out a little different. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at Mashiach, he told us how he felt about her. But I'm mentioning that because he told Philip, my works bear witness of me. He said, you should have known me based on what I was doing. You should have known who I was and how much I loved y'all based off what I was doing. And that's how y'all kind of do it. Y'all tell us he loves us, but he show us that he loves us, and he show us he the living God, and we supposed to know that because we know him and we understand him. And then, of course, like I say, that can help y'all that's already married. Sit back and look at, do I know my husband? Do I know my wife? Or just look at the simple question and ask him, do you know me? Do you feel like I know you? And if the answer is no, well, what do I need to do so that I can know you better? It's not hard. It's not a difficult conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's just a conversation that two people don't, because we feel like a nigga should already know me or you should just divulge that to me. Because that's how society tell us to do it. But then when you also look at it on the flip side, when you meet new people, what they tell you to do? Ask questions and get to know them. How else you going to get to know somebody unless you ask questions?
Yeah, that's what the whole dating process is
It's supposed to be about asking questions. What is it you want to know? But we don't never do that because most of the time you talk.
No, I was saying, I know a lot of men complain that women act like they can read minds because we always saying out, we expect men to know stuff. And I've learned, like,
No, you got to open your mouth.
right.
You got to open your mouth. You need to tell him. That's a lot of women. He should know. That nigga name ain't Madam Cleo. You got to open your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I done had a shoot. That nigga used to tell me out. If you've been with me a certain period of time, you should just look at me and know if my mood down. Shoot, if your mood down, nigga, you better open your mouth. Because if I ask you one time what's wrong with you and you say ain't nothing wrong, well, shoot, I guess ain't nothing wrong because I ain't finna keep asking you over and over again. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, but if I ask you what's wrong, that's no different if something bothering me and you say, well, what's wrong with you? And I say nothing. Well, I don't expect you to keep asking me over and over again. Clearly, you don't want to discuss it.
That you're supposed to know, but if I'm asking you what's wrong and you saying nothing and you know it's something and I've already assessed that it's something because of your action.
But somebody shouldn't have to keep asking you.
Right.
But no, that's the problem. That's immature.
That's stupid.
That's immature and that's dumb. I just asked you.
Because I'm asking you because I'm seeing the signs. If you're not trying to talk about it, I'm moving on.
And then you mad because I don't know what's wrong with you. I ain't got to ask you nothing. We grown. We grown. I ain't asking you no 2-3 times.
That's in your mind.
Well, shoot. Thank the Lord you got a man who going to ask you twice. He, shoot, my nigga. Because I'm not going to ask you twice.
I feel like if somebody asks me what's wrong, I'm finna tell you.
Yeah, be around here mad. You supposed to know what's wrong with me. I ain't supposed to know nothing because I'm not y'all. I'm not all knowing and I'm not all seeing. I cannot perceive the hearts of men.
Should be one in there on that plug right there.
I mean, but that gives, but you know, society pushes that, and that gives people unrealistic expectations from another person. You know what I'm saying? So then you have been done ran away somebody who actually care and love about you because they have not met an unrealistic expectation which you have set. That this nigga just supposed to know. Nah, he ain't supposed to know. He ain't in your brain and he ain't in your body. You know what I'm saying? You know, men are very simple creatures. All you gotta do is tell me what you want me to do. It don't take that much. He may not move when he wants you to move. That's all you gotta do. Tell me what you want me to do. I just seen a brother posted something and they say, why do black men have a hard time expressing themselves? And he say, we really don't. He say, really, do I trust you? You know what I'm saying? Will you not use that again? Like, it's really not that different. It's like this here, right? If a little boy hurt himself, the first thing we tell him is stop crying, you a man, suck it up. So then when he get older, he's probably not going to express himself if he hear that over and over again. He's going to take the fact that if he express anything that he's feeling, he's going to be deemed as weak. That's what we told. You got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's dealing with a whole lot of stuff out here on the street that's bigger than a woman. See, like, I ain't talking about how niggas be talking about express yourself to no woman. This nigga dealing with real life stuff. They don't even know how to talk about it. See, they was in there saying, taking it like, why a black man don't express himself to a woman. Well, I'm looking at, it's a lot of black men won't express themselves at all about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nigga be suffering in silence. That's why nigga be dying from heart attacks and high blood pressure and be stressed out. Because you're keeping that stuff on the inside. Don't do that. James chapter 1 though. 1 and 2. Don't do that. You end up in the body bag. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. For if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Alahym, that give to all men liberally and upbraid not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that waver is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. Let no man think that he shall receive anything of the master. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So what do we get from that? Don't ask for Yahuwah for understanding or wisdom, and you don't believe that he can give it to you. It's no difference is, don't ask somebody to reveal themselves to you, but you don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you expect them to reciprocate that back if they can perceive that you don't trust them? Because you can perceive if somebody don't trust you. You know what I'm saying? You can perceive that. So why would you ask for the same reciprocity from somebody and you don't trust them? That's unwavering, and you ain't going to get nothing out of this person. And you ain't going to get nothing from y'all out of that. John chapter 1, though. Tabbing. We in 1 and 40. Now remember, right? What did Simon Peter and his brother do? They left everything they were doing to go do that work, didn't they? Because that's who he was seeking. That's who he's seeking. He's seeking people who want to go do that work. And that work ain't just pertaining to preaching the word. It could be pertaining to giving. It could be pertaining to count. Anything that pertains to the righteousness of Alahym. That's who he's seeking after. If you ain't seeking after to do the work of Yah, he ain't looking for you. That ain't who he looking for. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first found his own brother Simon and saith unto him, we have found Hamashiach, which is being interpreted Hamashiach. And he brought him to Yahushua, and Yahushua beheld him and said, thou art Simon, the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation of stone. The day following, Yahushua will go up forth into Galilee and find Philip and saith unto him, follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip find Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him. You see what he said he did? They did what? That means they were looking for him. Of whom Moses and Torah and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Nathanael said unto him, come. Can there any good thing come up out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, come and see. Come see for yourself.
Stop, Mari. Sit down.
Henry J. Jones. Henry J. Bird Jones. I don't know what we're going to do with J. Bird.
What are we doing?
He just want to have fun. That's all he want to do. All they want to do is play. Now sit there and think about that, right? They found what they were looking for. But at the same token, Yahushua was seeking men who were willing to do this work. We know the work that these men did. Let's go back to Psalm 49, man, because I ain't finna hold y'all up too long, because we got a whole night tomorrow.
Whole night.
We done did a lot.
Whole night.
Whole night. You know, we did all right today, shoot. You know, well, we did it before. That would took about 3 hours. We got a lot of questions in. If everybody will, it took a little long.
Real good. Real good.
Hey, Tabbins. 49-7. Hey, Tabbins. None of them can by any means redeem his brother nor give to Alahym a ransom for him. For the redemption of the soul is precious and cease forever. That he should still live forever and not see corruption. For he that seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool, the brutish person perish and leave their wealth to others. So, and you know, of course, it tell you about that in Ecclesiastes. You can have, you just talked about that $100 million, but you know what? When you die, you don't know what you're going to leave it to. You don't know if you're going to leave it to a fool or a wise man. And that's vanity and vexation of spirit. Because you don't know who you're going to leave it to. That's another reason to put it in a trust fund. You can leave good direction. You ain't got to worry about it. That's what them crackers do now, I'm telling you. They put that money in a trust fund in parcel. They leave explicit instructions. Especially if they know they are stupid. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna run through and blow all this money.
So they got to follow instructions?
Oh yeah, you set that trust up. You set an executor over that trust, and you leave explicit instructions on what. See, that's a particular. See, it's many type of trust. You know what I'm saying? Now, what he talking about is you have a child. He can't touch the money till he 18, and then they might be like he only get X amount of money a month until he 25, and then he can get the whole trust. And then you got some people who just set up a trust and say, hey, this is how it's going to be ran, and this is what it is, and shoot, you shoot this nigga X amount of money a year, and that's what it is.
What if that person you left before they get to their age?
You can set up however many people you want to have to get touch that trust. You can set the trust up any way you want. Trust way better than the will. Way better than the will. You don't see that stuff that people don't tell you.
But a lot of times that will be for material assets.
I mean, the trust is for material assets.
What you mean?
To say a trust is better than a will because if you have a will, your assets are subject to estate tax. When you put all your assets in the trust, ain't no estate tax. And the stuff go directly to who you want it to go
When
to.
I'm thinking about assets, I'm thinking like heirlooms and
All that, you can put that in the trust.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
You can put all that in the trust. You got people who done left trust funds to their pets. Straight up.
And leave it to the dog and the cat.
Straight up. See,
when the cat does, who get it? The vet?
I mean, they set it up how they want to set it up. It really be the trust be in the cat's name or the dog's name, and then they have explicit instructions of how they want those funds parceled.
You said the director is somebody who you pick.
You pick them. You can pick the executor of your estate, of your trust. You pick them. To
It's in
choose,
that profession, right?
you can pick whoever you want.
No, bro, it's not like a job. The executive is the person who is over making sure that whatever you got down is
Handling your
executed.
affairs.
It's executed how you got it.
Oh, okay, like,
Right, so if I die, my wife will make sure everything I wrote down is executed. She'll be the executive over the trust.
oh, I thought it was,
It's not like a person that you hire.
oh, I thought,
You can. Because
I was just saying because
You definitely can hire someone. But it goes how you want it to go. When you sit back and look at it, right, the whole kingdom of Shamahim was a trust fund left in the name of Yahusha. And he can disperse it out and pencil it out to whoever he want, when he want. It's left in his name,
you can leave an executive.
and he can leave it to who he
I
wants.
ain't gonna lie, it's no oil for you. God bless you.
Well, I'm telling you, it's the same thing. Because guess what? All the assets belong to who? His Abba.
Yeah.
He set up a trust and say, hey, son, you go down here and do this. I got all this stuff in here. It's yours. And you can give it to whoever you want to give it to.
And now that he done died,
And
you
resurrected.
can redeem some
Now
of
he
that
done
trust.
redeemed that trust, and you can parcel it out however you want to. You the executor over it.
You can get a little piece of that trust now. You done died, now you get a little piece.
You get a piece of it. And you can parcel it out however you wish. Ain't nobody taxing for nothing over here. Pass this inheritance to whoever you want to pass it to.
And your children's children.
That's what he said. That's what he promised,
That's
man.
what he said?
That's what he said.
That's exciting.
1 Timothy chapter 6.
I want to be a trustee.
See, indeed, because that's even more so. Because listen to me though, right? Listen to me though. Because I'm trying to speed on up out of here. Because I got to get on up out of here. When you look at Revelation 3, right? When you look at Revelation 3, and he said that I will give you the true riches. He said, "Come buy me gold tried in the fire," right? Proverbs chapter 8 tell you that his silver and gold is better than any treasure you can get, right? Say it's refined silver. That's what he said, right? You turn around and look at it, then he tell you, what did we just read the other day? He said, if you ain't been faithful with another man, who gonna commit to your trust and what? So if you got the Ruach HaKodesh, guess what you is? You's a trustee, Yahusha trustee over the Ruach. He dispense it to who he want to dispense it to. So when you don't know what to do with it, I can't even give you your inheritance because you don't do right. Because you can do that with a trust. If you put in there, oh, my son got to get straight A's to get his trust fund money, he don't get it. He don't get that money. See, you ain't a faithful steward, so I can't give it to you. Because steward got to be found faithful. So if you're a trustee over a particular estate, you got to be found faithful. What Yahusha said, I'm the faithful and true witness. I can set him over the estate. he gonna be faithful with it. And guess what he do? Committed unto faithful men, so they can be faithful with it. Because I can trust you with these riches. Because guess what? You don't want to be like the prodigal son was. I give you your riches, you go spend it on whores and pigs. A little booty and some ribs.
That's what they doing. Using the riches to get booty.
Using them riches to get booty. And they ain't even got no real riches. These niggas trying to get over. They giving these girls wooden nickels. You ever seen a wood nickel? You ain't never seen a wood. That's a real piece of currency. Yeah, long time ago. Yeah, long time ago. Huh? I ain't talking about no folktale. These people had wood nickels. Yeah, he had wooden teeth. Shoot, them crackers had scurvy back then. Everybody had scurvy. You know what scurvy is? I don't know what that is, but I know most of them white folks ain't had no teeth because they had scurvy. Scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency in your teeth, make your teeth rot out.
Sound like that rap ad.
He very well may have. I can't speak to that. That nigga said Louisiana rub dry. What'd he say?
Well, you need to get out, but it needs to be a butt and nigga friend that excuse me.
That nigga know.
Come in here and throw you out.
That nigga known for dropping the corny joker to him. He be sliding them in like they funny too.
Boy, it ain't even worth repeating, boy. It's so dry.
Leave that where it's at. You heard it. Leave it where it's at. Shoot, you quick to embarrass a nigga. Go ahead and embarrass him. Nah, they ain't tell the joke. Oh, I heard him say that. Oh, I heard that. That definitely wasn't funny. I thought, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he was. No, because I thought he was being serious.
No, that's why I like. That's why I had you like. This nigga looking for. What you looking for? I thought it's like disrespectful that we all looked at this nigga and he kept going.
Yeah, I thought he was being serious, so I just kept on going.
I know I did. Boy, looked at him. I looked at him, and we screwed and kept going.
I thought he was being serious, like, okay.
I tried, but
No, oh, you were trying to be funny?
It bothered me.
Hey, man, you need to call you an Uber, cuz. But all jokes aside, cause we gonna be pulling this into what we gonna finish up with tomorrow, cause we got a lot to finish up with tomorrow. Y'all with me? Who is that up under there? It's Lizzie. It's Lizzie.
Come here, Lizzie. Come here.
But you got to think about that though. Everybody say they want the ruach, but why would he commit that to your trust if you're not faithful? Why would he commit that to your trust and you ain't gonna do the work? Come over here to Acts 5, right? 27. We'll start right here for now. Because we already about an hour. We gotta take it like we done hit so much script over the. I know that done overload. Pot.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm kind of happy that junk got put back, boy.
You done hit it. You already know how it go down this time of year. I won't be doing this again till the beginning of the year. Hello, Tabby.
Oh, I'm sleep. 5:36.
5 and 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Alahym rather than men. The Alahym of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom you slew and hanged on a tree. Him have Alahym exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Yasharal and forgiveness of sins. We are his witnesses of these things, and so is also the Ruach HaKadosh, whom Alahym have given to them that obey him. Now hold on. 2 Timothy chapter 3. So you get the Ruach because you obey him. If you obey him, it's because you're doing his work. Hamashiach said he didn't come to minister, to be ministered unto, but to minister. I didn't come to be served. I came to serve. So I didn't come for people to work for me. I came to work for them. So that means there were works that he was coming to do, which goes back to what we talked about earlier this afternoon. Loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness. We go back to what we were talking about the week before, with justice and judgment is the habitation of his throne, and his throne is upholding by mercy. So if we a man and you got a woman you married to, or you got a woman you interested in, then you're supposed to be able to uphold this woman with justice, judgment, and mercy. And if you're not able to do that, then you need to learn how to do it. And if you ain't married and you don't know how to do it, you need to sit your butt down till you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you this here also, because I ain't just speaking for nobody in the room. I'm speaking for people who look at it later. Because I already know it's plenty brews that they rushing to do that, and they don't have the capabilities to do this. And then it's a lot of women who be online talking about all this stuff they went through, who they were married to. It was just a lady. It was ignorant on her part. She said she moved all the way from Washington State to a whole nother state with her churn to be with a nigga, and now she homeless. Because she thought he was in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now it's definitely dumb on her part, because I ain't finna. It's one thing if you ain't got no kids and you go ahead to make that move, but if you got children, you supposed to vet that nigga better than they vet a Supreme Court nominee. You supposed to vet that nigga before you take your children cross country. Children?
Nigga in the word never denied.
Now, he's a righteous brother. You seen his Facebook post? That brother post what? That's a righteous man. Shoot. What you I ain't saying good, but see, this ain't even advice that niggas giving. This is how niggas is behaving. This how I tell you, there's a woman on my page that say you can get to know somebody off a Facebook post. I say, baby, you crazy. She said all you gotta do is just watch they post. I don't know this hoe. That hoe can be all she can be while she in the army on Facebook.
This page should be hacked, bro.
Because she said something about why would a man need that long to know if he wanted to marry a woman. He said maybe because he wanted to get to know her. Ho. And it was her own husband. Her own husband, like, maybe he ain't that into her. Maybe he want to get to know her. But you know that's what people's problem is everybody got them roller skates on, ready to roll. You ain't ready for that. You don't even know this nigga. How you gonna marry somebody you don't know? That's the same, and you know why I said that? Because how you going to marry Yahusha and you don't know him? How you going to be joined to his Ruach and you don't know him? How you going to be able to do that? That don't make sense to us, down there. You ain't going to be able to do that. One thing about it, boy, the book tell you, boy, the race ain't given to the swift. It's given like this here. It ain't given to the swift. Everybody trying to move fast. Sometimes you need to pump your brakes. I seen somebody before we departed up out here. I seen a dude, a couple people on my page that said this a couple times. They say sometimes you don't attract what you are. Sometimes you attract what that person that you have, that person need. Not that you need to be with them, but what they're lacking in, you have it, and that's why you're attracting them. You know what I'm saying? Most people look at that as, that's who I'm supposed to be with. No, you're supposed to be with somebody who compliments you, not somebody who you got to bring up. It's your choice if you want to bring them up. I'm not at an age to bring nobody up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little too old. I ain't got enough time.
I think a lot of times people think they know people because they didn't sleep with them.
That too. Sex definitely clouds your judgment because you knew them in the biblical sense, but you didn't know them. You know a little yin and a little yang, a little twang and a little pain.
And then now you getting butt and she got an attitude because she feel like people don't know her.
Straight up, because she's allowed you into her body. So now she feel like anything about her you should automatically know because you're having physical relations, because her emotions are engaged because of the physical relations. A man does not get emotionally invested with a woman through physical relations.
Exactly.
A man gets invested in a woman through a bond.
Trenches.
Do you know what I'm saying? See, a woman can get emotionally invested with a man through sex. Men don't do that. It's going to be what type of woman she is, what type of friendship they have, what type of relationship they have, and the things that they've experienced together. That's when his emotions get involved. Or if he sincerely knows and believes without a shadow of a doubt that she cares about him as a man, as a person. That's when he gets emotionally invested. Because a man can stick his penis in anything and it ain't going to bother him in the least bit. These niggas out here laying with dogs, so you know full well they don't care.
Niggas out here laying with niggas.
Shoot, I just use dog because I ain't want to use no man. Because it's even worse, you laying with a dog. You got niggas who will hit anything. Niggas hitting basils raw. You think he lay about his basil? And come right back up there with his old lady and kiss her dead in the mouth? Not in the least bit, but hallelujah for Yahushua in the world. We're going to start right there, man. Appreciate y'all on the stream. Bless y'all at the house of Yah. In the name of Yahushua. Y'all willing, 8:30 tomorrow night. And pick it up for the last one. And knock it on out the box.
I get my own pen.
I see that, and it's a glitter pen.